I knew I freaking had you pegged. I saw you down at the Nipple Hut.
Yeah.
You would enjoy it.
I'm searching for
Aliens.
Did you find it?
the fish package, the dumpling package,
Okay. I feel like I know what you're talking about.
flavored malt liquor.
I can't see nothing.
You should get some lotion for that. Retroactively do the
Is
intro.
that the new start to the podcast this
There
year?
we go.
It
Rambling.
just starts with us talking, and then eventually we get to me.
Yeah.
New year, old us. Welcome to the XYZ podcast. I am Millennial Producer Tony, joined as always by Gen X Brian
Happy New Year, guys.
and Gen Z Winston.
I was drinking. Sorry. Happy New Year. What it do?
There's only the three of us.
I look over. Why is he? I wasn't looking at the screen. I look over. I'm like, why is he not talking?
I was drinking out of my comically large water bottle.
He chose the perfect time for
Right.
whenever I said his name too.
Yes,
That
we
was
have
drink time.
Shout out to my girlfriend for buying me the comically large water bottle though. It's keeping me hydrated.
Hey man, that's good. That's good.
Looks like you're ready to go scuba diving at any point in time.
Yeah, it doubled as a oxygen tank. Also.
How many ounces is that? We've reached the age of the comically large water bottle for everyone. I'm not making fun because I also have one, but
it says here a fuck ton. However much that means.
is it cubic or a metric?
Speaking of water bottles and cups, have you seen like the craziness going over those Stanley Cups right now?
I know that there's craziness with them, but I've just ignored it.
Yeah, Starbucks and Stanley did like a collaboration for these cups, and it was being released into Target. And it was like, it's crazy, man, because I was seeing TikTok of people lining up at 3-4 in the morning outside of a Target to wait for them to open and get in and buy one.
Are you serious? It's a cup. I mean, it's
over a cup. Yeah.
Okay, so my understanding, I thought the Starbucks one was red and then the Target one was pink, but the Target one is also a Starbucks one?
The Target one is the Starbucks one. They were just selling it. They were just the retailer.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't own a Stanley Cup. Brian does. And like, I don't understand the significance of them. I mean, I guess it keep your
They're
drink
good
cool.
cups from what I hear.
Yeah.
You need to carry around 41 ounces of ice cold
How
water.
much is a cup, Brian? Like a regular one?
Oh, the price? I think it's $50. I think they're $50. That's
$50.
What they're retailing for. And yeah, those Starbucks ones are going for $1,000 on eBay. Come on, who's buying that?
It's crazy.
Oh,
who's buying
gosh.
that? Nobody's buying it, but it's just like
I'm gonna be real honest. I started seeing the posts on Reddit, and I immediately thought hockey.
Because Stanley
what's
Cup.
going on?
Yeah.
What's going on with the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
And then I looked into it and was sorely disappointed.
That's
and
like a
that's
bad
why
joke.
I ignored it. And I went, I don't care about
I
this.
don't care.
It'll be cool. It'll be cool if Target allow like, customer to fight each other for a cup. Just like hockey would.
Stanley made Stanley Cups in the shape of a Stanley Cup, I would buy one.
You would have every hockey fan
you got me
clamoring
back
for
in.
that. And there might be fights since it's hockey fans going for those. That'd be great.
Exactly.
I saw a thing recently that was referencing the 1984 pandemonium when the Cabbage Patch doll was released, and they have footage of people getting injured, and I don't know why that was making the rounds post-holiday, but that's funny.
I never understood the whole thing with Cabbage. Was it Cabbage Patch?
Mm-hmm.
Cabbage Patch Kids, yes.
Kids. Yeah, I never understood them. Like, what was the whole craze about them?
That was just the beginning of the hot toy
Hot toy of the season, yeah.
of the season. It was those, it was Tamagotchis, it was Tickle Me Elmos.
Right.
There was always something.
They were one of the early ones, yeah, and there were people getting in brawls for these
crazy.
toys, yeah.
People getting in brawls for thing, that isn't new. I mean, we see that every well, back in the day, we'll see it all the time on the holiday season or whatever. But
yeah, it was really a wave because it doesn't happen anymore. Everybody buys stuff online.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
bring back the violence.
But Cabbage Patch Kids originated here in Georgia,
Cleveland, Georgia, right? Isn't it?
Really?
If you go about an hour north of Atlanta, towards a town called Helen, which is a very tourist destination spot, you will pass billboards for Babyland.
Babyland.
Which is sort of the defuncto birthplace of
Not defuncto, de facto.
de facto.
If it's defuncto,
Again.
it's still going.
I've had a sip already. Leave me go.
That's
Brian's not drinking. I'm drinking.
yeah. Appreciate you carrying on the helm. It's important.
But it's a big antebellum style house that has been made to look like a hospital inside. Because the whole point of the Cabbage Patch Kids was you wouldn't buy one, you would adopt them.
You would adopt them. It was an adoption.
So whenever you got them, it would come like with a little birth certificate, and it was already named. Yeah,
you couldn't even name your kid. There was just a bunch of orphans. And you know what? They smelled like baby powder.
They did smell weird.
Did it?
Yes.
That sounds ridiculous.
And by the time they got popular, they were being mass produced at that point in time, and everybody knows them. They're big, clunky things with plastic heads. But if you have one of the early ones, they were all cloth heads, and those go for a pretty penny online now.
Really?
Jeez.
They can get quite expensive for the original old style ones.
All right. Well, there you go, Winston. Find yourself a Starbucks cup and or a Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah.
And then you got some cash in hand.
I would suggest you make a trip this summer. Like, get some friends together. Go up
Are you telling him to go to Babyland?
I'm telling you to go to Helen, Georgia. Go tubing down the river. But on your way there or back, stop at Babyland and experience the insanity.
What the hell is Babyland? That's where they make them? Or is
that's where apparently there's. See, you love lore, Winston. There's Cabbage Patch lore. When you go in, it's set up like a hospital and nursery. Like they have they have a preemie unit room.
Yeah.
You go in and you watch this whole show with this magic tree where the Cabbage Patch Kids are birthed from.
Oh, jeez.
It's wild.
Man, where's Greta Gerwig? I gotta get her on the phone. It's
this is crazy. It's the birthplace where you can witness the birth of a hand-sculpted Cabbage Patch Kid.
So do we see them getting sculpted, or
I don't think you see them getting made because they're not made according to lore. They are birthed from this magic tree.
Magic crystal tree.
You do see them coming out of the Cabbage Patch at the base of this tree.
Oh, so here you go. They're pollinated by fanciful bunny bees. Our magical Cabbage Patch is tended by our licensed patch doctors and nurses.
I'm telling you, there's lore. And it's deep, man.
Well, this is good, though, in this day and age to be frugal. Admission is free because you'll probably buy a doll while you're there.
Well, how much is a doll, though?
I don't know.
Are they
probably
hefty?
$30. But it's like a fever dream in the middle of nowhere, Georgia.
Yeah.
It's worth going to. Just say, I went and I did that. I won't ever go back. But
now what I want them to do is open it up in the middle of the night. Like some Five Nights at Freddy's style.
The haunted Cabbage Patch,
yeah.
So they get their October tourism there.
Yeah, right? I mean, a little couple extra bucks on top is not going to
Why are we talking about Cabbage Patch Kids? I don't even know.
Well, it started with the Stanley Cup, so I don't know.
Oh, Stanley Cup, and then we were talking...
Fighting finding people in a store.
Yeah,
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Gotcha, violence.
I'll ask you guys this. You guys ever line up outside a store for anything, like ever?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What'd you line up for, Tony?
Up until a few years ago when Toys R Us was still open and they were still making Star Wars movies, they would do a thing called Force Friday, where they released the first wave of merchandise for the movie that was about to be coming out. And me and my wife would go and wait outside of Toys R Us with a bunch of other people.
Was anybody dressed up?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't remember anyone being dressed up for the toy launch, but I remember we went to our local theater.
Oh, for the movies, yeah.
For the movie.
Yeah,
we went out.
Dress up?
I didn't dress up, but I did have a friend who dressed up in complete Ahsoka Tano costume.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it was pretty well done.
She paint her face too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah,
that's super sick. What about you, Brian? Have you ever waited out in the cold for anything?
I'm trying to think. I've waited in line for concert tickets. I mean, I've definitely queued up, and we've talked about that. Other than that,
merchandise though, like actual stuff.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I've done it once, but like, I don't think that's something I'm interested in ever doing it again.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I don't think something I'm interested in telling you what it was.
No.
No.
Yes.
The tickle me also, wasn't it?
No, it was. I lined up for my graphics card for my computer. I told you guys
there
that
was
story,
a
right?
line for graphics cards.
Yeah. This was when it was crazy. This is like
that's some serious nerddom.
Yeah, this was around like the pandemic time, like 2020, 2021-ish. And you guys remember like that chip shortage that happened?
Yeah.
The chip shortage and all the crypto mining.
Yeah, exactly. So that both of those factor into reason why there wasn't graphics card on sale. And so, or for sale in general. I got there at 8 o'clock and I lined up until 8 a.m. the next day.
You were in line for 12 hours for a graphics
12
card.
hours, yeah. But it wasn't like we didn't have to sit in the line because it was freezing. We were like, we had a guy. It was so weird. This wasn't like organized by Micro Center or anything. It was organized by just the people that were there. So whoever shows up first, we get in line or whatever. And the very first guy, the line leader, the first guy has a clipboard with everyone's name on it. And so I got in line and I was like, man, at this point, I'm like 150th person here because I show up late. These people were here way before.
Did they tell you how many they had in stock?
No, that's the worst part. Nobody knows how many they have in stock. And so I went with a buddy of mine. He shows up and we're like, damn, man, we're like real far back on this line. We're standing around, we're talking, whatever. We were going to commit to it. We were just fully going to just wait it out and just stand in line. And then this Russian kid that was standing in front of us overheard us talking or whatever. And he goes, yo, man, I've been here like since freaking 5 o'clock, dude. I got a spot for sale if you want. I'll sell you
my
spot. Yeah. So he was like, yeah, my buddy, he was here and he had to run home for something. And he said he's not coming back. And so he's willing to sell his spot. So my friend was like, okay, sure. I'll go ahead and buy the spot. So I was like, I'm just going to test my luck. I'm just going to wait. It's fine. It's whatever.
How much does he sell the spots for?
$100.
Oh my gosh.
But my friend paid for it anyway. I was like, whatever, I don't care. I'll stick it out. I'll chill here with you until, the morning time and you can get your card. Midnight come around. That's when we went to go like get chicken nuggets from like McDonald's. And that was when the BTS meal was a thing. So we got like chicken nuggets, came back.
Wait a second. BTS, the K-pop sensation group, had a McDonald's meal?
Yeah.
They had their own sauces, man.
Yeah. They had, it's amazing.
Okay, yeah. I missed that in pop culture.
Yeah,
I know a guy who hoarded a bunch of those sauces in hopes that they'll be like BTS fans will pay extra for them now. So he
was free.
He has this hoard of sauces. He's like, no one will buy them. I don't know what to do with them now.
Oh, that's hilarious. So anyway, we got the BTS meal. We came back 3 o'clock roll around. We're like, damn, man, we're hungry as hell again. And there was an IHOP down the road. So we zipped over to the IHOP, got food there, came back in line at 4 a.m. to check it. And so it's weird. Like throughout the night, you have to come up to the group leader and just check in with them, be like, hey man, I'm still here.
Now let me guess, did the self-appointed guy with the clipboard, heavyset guy?
Yeah.
Beard?
Yep. Yeah, he was there. He said he was there 3 days before. I'm just like, all right, man. And like we overheard like the most obnoxious motherfucker on earth. He was a freaking crypto miner. So obviously he was there again. He was like, yeah, man, I got like 3 of these at home already. I'm getting 2 more so I can crypto mine. And like never more in my life have I hated a person that much. But
right.
then,
he's got no money right now. So
yeah, right. So then 4 or 5 o'clock came around. I'm chilling in the car with my buddy, and then that Russian kid came up again. He knocked on the window. We rolled the window down. We're like, what's good, man? He's like, yo, bro, I don't even want the spot anymore. I already have one. I just want to go home and sleep. If you want, I'll give you my spot for $100. I was like, what place are you? He was like, 32. I'm like, all right, I'll take my chances. I'll give you $100 for it. Send him $100. He walks up with me to go check in. He was like, hey, yeah, remember me, yada yada name. And he was like, yeah, you remember my buddy? And then he like gave me a random name, and I was like, yo, like I was just like, yo, I remember because like I know the group leader guy saw me, so I remember I had a hoodie on at the time, so I just put my hood on and I pretend like I was real cold. So I was like covering my face. I was like, yo, what's up? Like I deepened my voice and everything, and then so like 7 o'clock roll around. They're like, all right, everybody come line up. We need everyone in the single file line. We have 42 cards in store today. If you want to buy one, you must have an ID on you, and you must be able to like provide like you must have not bought a graphics card within the last 3 months. The amount of people that like scramble and left was hilarious. They were trying to sell their spot. Like they didn't have an ID or the fact that they had bought a graphics card.
None of those people had any interest in actually buying them.
Yeah, they just wanted to get one to resell and something. So they started walking up and down the line. Like I remember a guy, he looked kind of cuckoo-ish, but he was walking up and down the line, was like, selling my spot, $500, anybody wants it? And they're like, you see him walking around, nobody's buying it because, you know, they're not an idiot. And then he kept going and going until it became like $200, $150. And then like it got real bad. And then like he was like, okay, I'm selling it for $50. And sure enough, some bastard in the back got it for $50. And then basically became the 10th person in line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's super good. Yeah. And so before we even get in, we have to walk up to these podium with the worker standing in front of the store. And they're like, all right, we got all of these in stock. Which one do you want? And we're like, okay, I'll take this one. He was like, sorry, that one's sold out. You have these two other choices. I'm like, why the hell did you even give me the third option in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll take the $1,000 one. He was like, all right, sure. And so he checked it off and he handed me like a low flyer. So I paid $1,100 plus, like it was $1,000 plus the $100 I paid that Russian kid to get his spot. And then like, yeah, I got in the car. I'm like, this is real nice, whatever. Got home, super happy. I still use it now. It looks gorgeous. But it's just like, I looked the exact same graphics card up the other day, $750. Now I feel like an idiot, you know?
See, you mentioned the way you got your graphics card there.
Yeah.
Makes me think back again, Toys R Us that I mentioned.
Yeah.
That was like one of the joys as a child of getting a video game from Toys R Us.
That's a thing that used to sell video games as Toys R Us.
Toys R Us, you had a whole aisle, maybe aisle and a half, where you would just walk up and down and look at the pictures, and they'd have just pictures of what the game was. And under there, they'd have this little envelope with tags in it. So it told you how much the game was, but you'd take your little tag.
Yeah.
And you take that up to the front of the store.
It's your golden
purchase your game, and then you'd go to the game door.
Oh.
You go past the registers, and there was a door.
Yeah.
And a little counter, and there was just some poor employee that worked the door.
Yeah.
You'd go up, and you're like, I want this one. And you take your tag, and he'd go to the back, and he'd come back out with your game.
Ah, sick. Yeah, that has to be like a super dope feeling.
It was
that place
great.
Went out of business, though, huh?
Yeah.
Walmart did it.
I just feel like toys have sort of gone out of
style. Kids.
That's it. Kids are just on a tablet or a game system now. There's no.
The adults have decided to do all the Legos and the.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes the opposite.
I don't feel like toys are as big as they were when any of us were kids.
That's true. Well, wasn't Toys R Us, didn't they come out and they were like, yeah, we're gonna try to open up a few stores again? Like, didn't they say that recently?
Toys R Us plans to open 24 stores in 2024, plus airport and cruise ship shops.
Airports.
Now listen, that sounds weird, but when you're trapped in a place and you need to calm a child down, a toy store seems like a good freaking idea.
Yeah, no, it would definitely work.
But Winston, did you ever go to Toys R Us?
I went.
You don't have any memories as a kid of going there?
Well, they didn't have Toys R Us in Vietnam. I went to Toys R Us when I was an adult-ish. I was like 17. I was 17, 18. I went because that was around the time when my niece and nephew was born. So I started going with them and their parents, and then my parents too, because you know my parents are their grandparents, so they like to buy toys for the kids. So I was like, sure, I'll tag along. It looked cool. A lot of the toys were way out of like my age range, so I didn't care about it that much. The way I think of it in my head, it's like PetSmart, but for human. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay,
you walk,
That's you used to not be able to get toys everywhere, and like Toys R Us was like where you had every possible type of toy there. Which it
was just a department store for toys. KB Toys was the toy store in the mall.
What's KB?
That was the name of the store.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The letters K and B. Yeah. KB Toys in the mall.
Yeah.
Never is good.
Toys R Us is the Home Depot of toys. It's all it
stood
is.
for. KB stood for Kaufman Brothers.
Oh, there you go.
Which was a big department store
place.
chain. KB's like that was their tagline was KB Toys, the toy store in the mall.
Oh, really?
But it was just a mall-sized store. You can only fit so much stuff in it.
Exactly.
Whereas Toys R Us was an entire standalone place that was just that, and it was enormous.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Occasionally, they'd have a giraffe walking around the store.
Oh, actually?
Jeffrey
with a G.
Oh,
Oh, thank God it wasn't an E. Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, I was like, what? It took me a second to get that joke.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, no, it's I know their what's it called was a giraffe. I just didn't know. I've just never seen one like
Jeffrey?
in the store.
They had a good man. Go back to jingles. Good jingle for Toys R Us.
Really? What was the jingle?
I want to be a Toys R Us kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
Did you go to Toys R Us, Brian, when you were growing up?
Yes, that was the big toy store trip. If you got to go to Toys R Us. So when my kids were little, they were still open. So I went there, and it was not the same store as when I was a kid. So it's like it seems like forever ago that it was that sort of like walking down up every aisle, and you could get all of the toys. I think back when I was going to Toys R Us is when I was into G.I. Joe. It was sort of after Star Wars I got into
well, I was gonna ask you that, like, where did you get your Star Wars toy from?
All over the place, but
you mentioned a store.
Yes, wow, it was stream of consciousness too. I think it was Zares is what it was.
Is that like going to the mall store?
No, it was just like it was
back in the day there were department stores. There were like Kmart was big. Everyone remembers Kmart, but Zares was one. Hills was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they're
Ames,
just like
they were just department stores.
Department stores, and you'd go in there, and then they'd have everything. They'd have clothes, but there'd always be. That's where I would get the.
So it's like a Target.
Yeah, a Target or an old style Walmart. I mean, if you take away the food section, that's Walmart's a department store. You've got clothes, you've got sporting goods, you've got toys.
But you did not have people walking around in pajama pants and slippers.
No, people dressed appropriately when they went into public.
The good old days. I don't know. My immigrant's mind can't comprehend that. Like, we didn't have department store. Like,
that's his rap album title. My immigrant mind can't comprehend this. I like that.
Yeah, but like, because like over there, it's just if you go, the toys they're not like the toys you guys had over here. It's like off-brand toys. Like knockoff toys. Yeah.
If you went to a dollar store here, it was the same toys.
Exactly. Yeah. It's that kind of toys, but it was sold everywhere. So like, you go to a doctor's office, there's a wall of toys that they put up for sale. Like, it's weird. You went to the hospital, they have a canteen that they just sell toys in. They sell toys at school. It's a canteen that just sell toys. Like, they don't have a toy store or like a department store where you just go in and buy toys, Bookstore is the other one that sell a lot of toys, which is, kind of defeat the purpose. But yeah.
Not just books.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, over the holiday season, doing some shopping, went into Barnes & Noble, and they had more Lego. I found out it's Lego. It's not plural. I'll have to resist. They had more Lego sets than I've seen anywhere. And
really?
Tons of them.
I didn't
tons
know
of
that.
them.
A lot of Lego, a lot of board games.
Yeah.
Action figures is there too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
A little bit.
They have the Funko Pops, and it was but I couldn't get over the sheer amount of Lego sets.
Lego sets, Lego bricks,
not Legos plural.
Yeah.
No.
Did you were you here when me and Tony talked about the phenomenon of walking in the Barnes and Nobles?
He was not here.
No.
Okay.
Yes, that was.
Were you here, or was it just a recording of it?
Well, either way, I listened to it. I heard what was going on.
For the listeners, there's something, and a lot of people know this, but there's something about a bookstore that it might be the smell of the paper. I don't know what it is. It might be.
If you looked this
there's scientific research done on this.
I'm putting on my glasses and researching this to see if
it might be the smell of paper. It might just be the act of squatting to look at lower shelves of books. But
okay, that's less scientific.
Do people have to take a dump when you go into a bookstore? And I told Winston, I believe what I told you was, if I've been to a Barnes and Nobles, I've been to the bathroom. Because it's inevitable. If I step in there, I'm going, gotta go.
Got it. Before we do any shopping, let me see what their bathroom is like.
This is weird. That it even has a name.
What's the phenomenon called?
The Mariko Aki phenomenon.
Yes, it was a Japanese.
It was a Japanese woman. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
hear me out, right?
Okay, it's a Japanese. This is
hear me out, right?
Hang on, let me read the first line, and then I'll listen. This is you gotta love the Wikipedia author.
Yep.
It's a Japanese expression referring to a sudden urge to defecate that is felt upon entering bookstores. Sorry, this apparently described in a magazine.
That's what I said, just more academically.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
I was gonna say, imagine if we can make that smell into a candle and then just put it in the bathroom. Like we will all have really good bowel movements. I feel like, you know,
I think fiber would probably do better, but you know, hey, the candle couldn't hurt.
It could help with constipation. You don't know that.
Exactly.
There's all kind of uses.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Oh man, see, you say things and I kind of think it's a joke, and then I just throw that into a search engine and you get like tons of hits. Like that is okay. All right. Just wanted to make
Brian,
sure
your wife's gonna listen to this episode and she's not gonna say it's penisy. She's just gonna say it's poopy this time.
It's toilet humor. It's gone to the toilet. The podcast has gone to the toilet.
What a good way to start a new year, huh?
I mean, it is the new year. We should be upbeat and full of hope and optimism and the new year ahead. Although it's kind of funny, this is the time of year after the house is decorated and the songs everywhere, and now it just comes to a screeching halt. We need as a society to have some sort of like step down program from all the excitement of Christmas to just, you know, bland.
There needs to be a better holiday between New Year's and Valentine's Day.
That's true.
There's nothing. This is the desert of holidays where there's nothing to look forward to, and it's just dark and bleak and dreary outside.
It's a drought. Yeah.
And we live in the South where it's not that bad. It could be like freezing, and I believe, you know, the upper Northeast is getting covered in snow. Tony, you got snow back home?
Yeah, I just talked to my parents last night and they're like, they were calling for a big storm and they only got like 3 to 4 inches. And they're like, that's not a storm. And my dad's going, that would have shut you down. I went, it would have shut us down. But
big time. When I first moved here, so, you know, I grew up in the Midwest and I'm very familiar with snow. So when I moved to Atlanta, I got up one morning. This is when I was still single, and I'd get up, you know, 15 minutes before I had to be out the door for work. And so I didn't listen to the news, I was listening to music, didn't turn on the radio. So I get up one day and I look outside and there's a light dusting. I'm like, oh, this looks really nice. Yeah. Super nice, you know, little dusting over everything. Get my car, drive to work. No big deal. Get to the office and there's like nobody there. What's going on? And then I was able to get in, and then like maybe like 20 minutes later, somebody else showed up and like 1 or 2 other people showed up. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. Okay. I guess they just, you know, I don't know if it was icy by them. And then my boss comes in. He's like, yeah, they decided to close the office.
That's hilarious.
So I'm like working for like another 15 minutes. I'm like, well, shoot, if the office is closed, what am I doing here? So yeah, I got back in my car and drove home. And that was when I realized how people in the South react to the dustings.
We had very similar experiences then, because I did the same thing. I drove to the office and one other person showed up and they were like, yeah, I think we stay here for another hour and see if anybody else comes. Otherwise, we're both going home. Went, all right, sure.
But
that's hilarious.
Tony, also, you grew up driving in snow. It's just like, okay, this is just something you're dealing with. But
yeah, on the opposite end, I had a job I was doing in West Virginia once. So it was far enough from home. I had to go stay overnight at this hotel. But the hotel was still 15, 20 minutes up the road from this hospital that I was supposed to be at. And it snowed a good 7-8 inches overnight, to the point where I couldn't go and brush my car off. I had to shovel my car off.
Oh,
keep in mind, I drive a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
So I managed to get myself out of this hotel parking lot and start following behind a couple tractor trailers. None of the roads are plowed.
Nobody plowed yet.
Yeah.
Huh?
Nobody plowed. It's too early in the morning. I get a quarter mile down the road and somebody had plowed. I see a plow truck going the opposite way. It had plowed a shortcut across the highway where I was going. And I went, I don't ever do this. I went, I'm turning around. I'm calling my office and I'm telling them I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go, hey, listen, I know this is happening. There's no way anyone's showing up here.
Yeah.
There's not a chance in hell. Because if I keep going, you won't ever hear from me again. 'Cause I'll be dead in a ditch.
Oh man,
I was like,
that's bad news. That 7-8 inches is for real. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, as we learned, they do make fun of the Southerners, and I even had a chuckle. But it does freeze, and we get frozen ice a lot. And then
that's what it is. Yeah.
If Winston, do you know about Snowmageddon? The snowpocalypse?
This is like what, 2016?
no, it would have been earlier than that because
then no.
down here till around then.
You heard about it though. Like what happened? This town came to a halt. It was crazy.
Yeah, because people couldn't drive on a highway while it was snowing. There were so many crashes and whatnot.
People just left their cars and walked home. It's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It looks like a scene out of like The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, 2011 is when that happened.
Okay, yeah, that would have been my first year here in Georgia. Like that's when I just came from tropical Vietnam, hot as hell. So like I'm like, oh, it's snowing, it's freaking sick. And then it was just like, yeah, everything's shut down. You can't go to school, you can't do nothing. I'm like, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm just like, it's freezing.
But now kids are they don't have snow days anymore. They just go to digital learning. That makes me so sad.
I know. I was gonna say, I was like, man, I used to love snow days because I can't do nothing. Yeah. But yeah. That sucks. Well, I was gonna say you guys had good experience. I had a super shitty experience.
In the snow?
When I was in college, and then we had some snow over the night. It was like maybe an inch, half an inch. There was ice in the in the street, and so I woke up and it was a Saturday morning and I'm supposed to be going to this tutoring job of mine. And like, we have a group chat with all of the tutors and the boss in there. And so we're like, hey, are we working today? It's like snowing out pretty bad. They're like, yep, office still open. Kids do need tutoring. There's a few kids here already. You need to come and work. I'm like, all right, if you say so. So I got dressed, I got in my car, I backed my car out of the garage. And then that's when I started feeling it like just slip down the driveway. And I'm just like, oh God, all right, whatever. So I made it onto the street. I pull my handbrake, the car is fine. Then I put it into drive and I press on the gas and I just hear like my tires spin.
Yeah.
And just weren't going anywhere. And it was just like that sound where it just, you know what I mean? And so like I pick up my phone, it's like, my car can't go anywhere. And they're like, well, you still have to go. Like, we still have work. I'm like, can't move. So good luck. And then like I hung up and I just put my car back in the garage. And then like maybe like 15 minutes later, like our group chat for work got like a message from the boss and she was just like, oh yeah, work's canceled for today. You guys can stay home. And it was like good. like three other kids messaged in the group and was just like good because I wasn't gonna come anyway. Like I couldn't get my car out of the driveway. But yeah, it was just so funny to see that. But yeah, like you guys were just like, yeah, we managed to show up to work. Just got canceled.
Didn't even think about it. Like, traffic's light this morning. This is great. Everything looks nice.
You got to put it in a low gear, man.
Yeah. Is that how it is?
Yeah. Put it in a low gear. You'll be all right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was just like,
put some chains on those tires.
I was just gonna ask you, like, how did you get your Honda Civic out of 7-8 inches of snow? Like, that's crazy.
I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. I know how to drive in snow.
Oh,
even in a Honda Civic.
Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy.
Now let me ask you this. So this is perfect. Let's transition. It's been a while. It's time for questions from Tony's dad.
Oh, let's go!
Questions from Tony's dad. This isn't on the list. He did ask me about it, so I'm bringing it up. Winston, have you ever seen? I know you haven't used them. Have you ever seen studded tires?
Studded tires?
Studded tires. We're talking about cars.
Not snow chains?
I've not seen nor used them.
I didn't figure you use them. Have you ever seen tire chains?
No. I just assume it's a chain being put on a tire. I don't know. I could be wrong here.
Yeah, no, it's you wrap your tires in chains and then that allows you to grip extra to drive through the snow and the ice.
That's crazy.
Studded tires were the same. They actually had metal studs embedded in the tire to give you better grip on icy roads.
Oh, so it's a separate tire. It's not something you plug into your tire.
Okay. Keep in mind, up north, because you don't buy them down here, most tires that you would buy here are all-weather tires.
Yeah.
Up north, you have to change your tires
during the
twice a year because you'd have to buy winter tires that had a different tread on them.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I don't think they do that anymore, do they? Now they
Winter
have
tires?
Yeah, I mean, is your dad still swapping out the tires on the car for the winter season?
That is definitely a normal thing.
Oh wow,
that's not a Pennsylvania thing. That is a normal northern thing.
Does he swap it himself, or does he take it to a shop and let them swap
My dad is very handy, so he's going to do it himself. Which, Winston, you're reading my mind. bringing me to my next question. I'm assuming you've had a flat tire before.
No,
I've had
a flat tire, but not on the road.
We're bringing in I did get my dad to record some sound bites. I'm bringing in some early.
Would you change your own flat tire? Or would you call AAA or roadside assistance?
This is Tony's dad's manliness barometer.
The man test.
Yes.
The manhood test is what it is.
Yes.
Probably call somebody. I don't know. I feel like I haven't.
It's a very Gen Z response.
Yeah, I haven't changed enough tire in my lifetime to be able to just be like, yeah, I can do this myself.
Do you feel like that's a skill you should learn?
Yeah, probably, but like, not anymore, right? Like everything's at the touch of a hand. You can just call somebody to come get it.
So you would
but
wait.
They charge you money.
They're going to charge you money, and you're going to sit there and wait for who knows how long?
Yeah, hours.
30 minutes to an hour for somebody to come out.
I have an idea of how to change a tire. I've never actually done it.
I understand the concept of changing a tire.
On paper, I feel like I do it. You get a jack, right? You slide it under your car. You grab the little jack spin thingy, right? And you spin it so that it lifts off your car. Then you get the little tire.
See, you've already missed a step.
What did I miss?
The lug nuts on your car, if you try to, what's called break those and loosen them, but after your car's lifted up, there's no way you're doing that.
Oh, so you got to take it off and
you got to break. You got to break the lug.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You got to break. Okay, so you take the little tire thingy, right? What is that called?
Yes, is what
tire iron.
Tire iron, right? And then you loosen the nuts and then put the jack in. Then you jack it up. Then you take your tire or take off the nuts, take the tires out. Then you get the tiny little handicap tire. You put it on, put the nuts on, and then you lower the jack, and then that's it, right?
Now, is there anything special when you put it back on?
What do you mean?
Most cars have 5 lug nuts that hold a tire on.
Oh,
how would you?
Lug nuts?
What direction?
No. There's 5. How would you put those back on?
Righty tighty. I don't know.
That's true. Yes. Okay. Good. Is there any special procedure that you think you would need to know? So
do you go around all 5, or do you put them in haphazardly, or
if you started at a 12 o'clock position with number 1 and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what order would you put them in on?
1 at the top at 12 o'clock, right?
Okay, we're starting there.
Then we'll do 2 down here. So right, directly, and then the third one, and then the last 2 on the 2 sides.
Well, kind of better than I thought. Your star pattern.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're gonna go every other
because obviously you're not gonna do them like in a row, right? Like that's
I think that's what he was seeing. If that's what you thought. So okay, so I feel.
What's wrong with if you do it in a row?
Evenly, that tightens them evenly to hold the tire,
right. So I had that figured out. I fixed enough computers in my lifetime to know how to hold a screw, right?
Right. That's funny. When you're doing it on the side of the road with traffic whizzing by you at 50
that's freaking scary, man.
It's a little different.
I don't know. I'm assuming you're on the other end of the spectrum. You would change your own tire.
Yeah, I have so many times. When I was in Florida, I don't know what it was, but I went through tires like crazy.
Did you hit nails on them or what?
Nails, or they would pop. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there was one time I was on the side of I-4 changing a tire, and it had rained, and so the ground was squishy. So every time I would try and jack the car up, it would get really, really wobbly because the ground was so squishy. So yes, no, I have, and I have changed tires several times in my life.
I'm going to fall in between because I've got a halfway story. I was in Florida and had a tire blow, and I pulled to the side of the road, and I got the emergency kit out of the back of the car. I was jacking it up, and I was in the middle of taking my tire off when one of the hero emergency trucks pulled up behind me and finished the job very quickly for me.
Nice. So, you didn't have to pay for it?
No, it was part of the Department of Transportation system that they have. Yeah.
Okay.
They just have, you'll see them here in Georgia sometimes where it's just It's like a yellow truck that just drives around looking for people that need help.
Yeah. I thought it was the mouse that sent those people to help you fix it.
It's not on Disney.
No, the mouse did not send anything. And I was rather ticked because thankfully we were right by an exit with a tire store that said, oh, that'll be about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I was already like, I had my day planned out. We were supposed to be there at a certain time. 40 minutes. Okay, that's fine.
You sir don't understand. The mouse is waiting for me.
40 minutes turned to 2 hours and really ruined plans that day.
Oh, man.
But, what are you going to do? You can't go anywhere, so you just got to wait.
Well, you got to start timing yourself like those indie pit crews, man. They can get those tires changed super fast.
Before we move on, my dad's answer is...
I say change your own flat tire, you lazy bum. Because changing your own flat tire takes way less time than sitting there on your phone waiting for the person to come change it. Put your phone away. Get your hands dirty. Feel like a man.
Yes, I think we all knew that. Yeah, I would have been shocked if it was anything but
funny.
that. And I hope this discussion has made Winston feel a little bit more confident should he need to change a tire.
Yeah, hopefully.
But your car does your car have a spare tire? Like a lot of them now.
I think every car has to have a spare tire.
I think that you have to.
No, they don't. The cheaper cars, your Kias, your whatever, they now throw in a can of Fix-A-Flat, and that's all you get. Oh. You don't get a spare tire. So if you're going to buy a new car...
I think mine does come with a tire because it's sit under the trunk, right?
Okay. Most of them do, but I know there are a handful now that are not including them in there to save on money.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You would think it's a requirement,
you would hope so, but yeah, they're trying to save money any way they can.
I think Teslas don't come with them. I don't think so, at least.
You can't change a tire on a Tesla because they're so heavy. The batteries on them are so heavy. You can't put a jack under your car for fear of puncturing the batteries and setting your car on fire. And they're so heavy that you can't. A jack wouldn't lift it anyways.
You couldn't actually lift them up.
I just learned that recently. Call a tow truck and get it taken to a place that can handle lifting a Tesla up to change a tire.
That's hilarious. Like, that's so funny.
See, they're cool until I don't know.
So you take a road trip and then you can't charge it. You gotta puncture a tire.
You get locked in it. That's happened to some people.
Exactly. Have you guys seen like the thing where like people's like, yeah, my like Tesla updated overnight and the update failed and I can't drive my car? Have you guys seen this?
It just breaks your entire vehicle?
Yeah.
Man.
Like, I don't think it's just Tesla. I think it's like just electric vehicle in general. It's like
it's running Windows.
Right. It's Ford, it's Tesla, it's Rivian, it's all these companies. But yeah, like just like you would think you're making an $80,000-$90,000 car, you would have an option to bypass these updates, Yeah. Like, yeah, it's crazy. And it was just like I saw a post on Reddit and it was like, it's like a screen that said, your vehicle update fail. Please contact a dealership and have that fixed. Like, it was just like, what?
You can't just plug it into your router at home and like...
No, literally. Like, why can't I just manually update it?
Yeah. Fine, I'll connect with a wire. I don't have Wi-Fi. That's fine. I don't know. Funny. They're cool cars, but I don't... Yeah, that we're not there to... I mean, that's like... that's a little too much control over to the machine the more than I'm comfortable with, at least.
Yeah. No,
but that's
sure.
You got those people that are driving down the highway with autopilot on, and they don't seem to be bothered by it at all, giving control over to the machine.
I don't know. I used to trust those things until I like really look into Tesla, and I'm just like, I don't trust them at all.
Yeah, well, Elon Musk doesn't really inspire confidence anymore. Exactly. He was kind of full of innovation, and then he went and bought Twitter. I don't know how that correlates, but man, that seems to be when suddenly you're like,
overly public platform for his insanity.
Yeah, this guy did not need a mouthpiece, but that's Eagle will do it to you every time.
That's the internet. Is giving a mouthpiece to people who shouldn't have one.
He didn't need one though. You're a billionaire and you've got companies and you're innovative. Why do you also? I mean, I guess all that success probably does a lot to bolster your ego as well. But I'm always amused by people's downfalls from their own mouth.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's like Kanye.
It is. Just like that. Yeah. Somebody's on top of the world, but kept running their mouth. And the more they do, the more they just, get knocked down. It's weird. It's very
I think the newest addition to that category of people is Selena Gomez, surprisingly.
What'd she do?
Like she got a new boyfriend. It's the famous music producer, Benny Blanco. And for whatever reason, she was just arguing with people in her comment section about like her dating him. And so, yeah, like I'm just like, all right, man. All right, whatever that means. But yeah, people really turn against her now, which is, I think it's hilarious. I'm like,
what are they going to do when only Murders in the Building comes back? That show's fantastic.
I don't think people
amusing.
I don't think people that watch that show hates her. It's people that don't watch the show that's just like, I don't care about Selena Gomez. Yeah, I don't care about Selena Gomez. I haven't cared about her since Disney. So
the Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she was cool.
I saw that show. My kids watched that show, and I was always just astounded with how awful live action Disney shows are. Like supremely awful.
I watched that show, and I just wanted to try their hot dogs. It looked really good.
I'm probably I look like I've upset Tony with my harsh.
No, I can see where you're coming from. There's
shows.
that era of. Well, Disney was always a different thing than Nickelodeon to begin with. But yeah, Disney's shows definitely have a tone and flavor to them that was always strange.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Nickelodeon. I suppose, I'm making fun of these shows, but I grew up watching You Can't Do That on Television, where it was like a bunch of bad jokes. And if you said, I don't know, you got slimed. That's where the whole sliming on Nickelodeon thing started. I think I've mentioned that before.
Yep.
But yeah, it was, so I suppose it was just a different type of dumb entertainment. I'm sure my parents did not find those shows amusing either.
I was just watching a very interesting TikTok about the fashion of Disney shows during that time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just the weird stuff that they put people in, and it's a very distinct fashion that people are now starting to make fun of and parody online.
We're just far enough away from it that we can make fun of it.
I guess so.
It's the fashion and like the stereotypical character that's been like all of the bully. It's like, give me your lunch money, nerd. You know, like that type of guy. And like
I feel like Nickelodeon did the same thing. Like if you look at Wizards of Waverly Place or Hannah Montana, and then you look at like iCarly, it's the same weird layered mismatch fashion across the board. But
like Jeanette McCurdy like character on iCarly have some of the most heinous fit I've ever seen.
They're working with they're working with Dan Schneider. There's a lot worse going on.
Who's Dan Schneider?
Oh God,
he was in charge of a bunch of shows.
Yeah, he was
in that era of Nickelodeon, and then it came out
weird.
He's real weird. He was
like
if he shows up on the Epstein list, not going to be surprised.
Oh, really? Like creepy? That type of creepy
like,
weird. Oh.
Imagine, like, you know how what's his name?
He did a lot of scenes with feet.
That's what it is. I was gonna say it's like Tarantino. Yeah, he's a Tarantino of Nickelodeon. A lot of feet stuff. It's just
a lot of feet.
It was weird. Yeah,
a lot of feet, a lot of kids. It was
It was
It was very questionable.
Very
my goodness.
And he kind of looked like Jared Fogle, like size wise.
He looks like
Subway Jared.
Subway Jared.
Yeah. He looks like you give him a weird pencil thin mustache. You go, pedophile.
Yeah,
real easy, real easy. Allegedly,
Alleged, right?
We're on. We
don't want to get sued, right?
Allegedly, none of this is. We can clear ourselves with one word.
I'm just gonna pivot us from this conversation to something I actually want to talk about before we're gonna wrap up. How do you feel about self-serving restaurant? Like, you ever been to a self-serve restaurant?
Yeah, self-serve. Like which? What would you give an example?
Like, say, like you walk in a place, you order to the person, and then you gotta go pick up your own food and then bring it to your own table. So,
okay, so like a Chipotle.
No, a Chipotle, like a Chipotle. Yeah. Yeah, like a Chipotle. But you're sitting down in a Chipotle though, in this case.
Right. Oh, so am I gonna walk out? Yeah. Okay.
You're not taking it home. You're eating. You're sitting in and you're.
Okay, so there. Wendy's. How, like a Wendy's?
Sure. How do you? Yeah, but you're ordering on a kiosk. How do you feel?
Oh, a kiosk. Okay, gotcha.
Sorta.
That's the part.
Sorta. Yeah. Like, how do you feel about it?
You either order on a kiosk or you don't.
No, in my situation, you go. See, this is my gripe against it. Okay, imagine this. I walk in a restaurant, right? I pick up a menu to the side of me. Okay, I'm reading my menu. I'm like, okay, I know what I want to eat. And then I got to walk up to the front, like where the counter is. I'm like, hey, I'll get a number 5. And they'll be like, sure thing. We're going to hand you this buzzer thing. And then in like 15 minutes, come and grab your own food. And then I got to go grab my own utensil, grab my own napkin, sit down at my table, And then once my buzzer goes off, I gotta go up, pick up my
Get
own
your
dish,
food.
come down, sit down. Yeah.
A Panera.
A Panera, yes. It's essentially a Panera. How do you feel about a restaurant like that?
I mean, they're fine. You know that they are.
I hate it. I freaking hate it. I don't know why.
Your food. So here's the thing. Your food is going to take a little bit longer to prepare. That's what I assume the wait is for, because it's not sitting up in there under the heat lamp. Just staying warm. They're preparing it fresh.
Right. But I just like, if I'm going to sit down in a restaurant,
you want somebody to bring it to you.
Yeah. Like,
okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about like with this whole shift to being self-serving.
You know what caused it, right?
The pandemic? Or like,
no.
What?
People demanding $15 an hour to work in these restaurants. That's why they're like, ha ha ha, we can get some robots and they're cheaper.
Heaven forbid people ask for a livable wage.
Yeah, literally. God forbid, man.
But it is a weird in between from fast food to a casual sit down dining restaurant. But I don't mind it. I'm in a little more control in that instance. Again, Winston, I told you this is why I love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I can go on my app from wherever I am, order my food, customize all of it, go to the drive-thru, scan a little sign to let them know that I'm here, sit there in the drive-thru line, and the only time I have to interact with a human being is when they hand me my food that's already done. It's the perfect dining experience for me because it removes all of my human interaction.
But there's a loneliness epidemic in this country, Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, you know what? And I rolled down the window and I said thanks. And they said, my pleasure.
My pleasure.
And that's all that either of us need. That's all.
Yeah.
They're not getting paid based on interaction.
Yeah, but like,
and you know what? The less interaction there is, the less points there are for somebody to get mad at them.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, but here's my thing. But it's a fast food place, so it's like, okay,
that's true.
Understandable. But like you said, if it's a sit down place and it's asking all this, and then having the audacity to flip the goddamn screen over and ask for a tip, I'll click skip in front of them.
I don't tip there.
Yeah, that's I keep seeing things that we have become tip fatigued.
Yeah. Have you guys seen like those memes where they just have like the tip board on their phone and it's just like if you open a door for somebody, you're like, go ahead and just... Yeah, I think that's hilarious. But yeah, like you're okay with that, Brian? Like you don't have an issue with that?
I don't, because that's the agreement going in there. I understand that's the situation, but
I'm on the other end of the scale. Brian, how do you feel about, say, Korean barbecue?
Yeah.
Or the white man's version, melting pot? A restaurant where you're paying a premium
to cook,
knowing that you're going in to cook your own food. You went to a restaurant to avoid doing this thing, and you're still doing it.
That's an experience for people that are going on dates in their 20s. That's what that restaurant's for.
That's what drives me up the wall. I'm like, I'm not paying $45 for an all-you-can-cook-yourself restaurant. That's insane.
Apparently, in the 70s, fondue was like a fad. People were having fondue at home, and then somebody's like, "Man, we like fondueing so much. Let's open up a restaurant."
Melting pot's doing so bad that.
I can't imagine.
If you go to their website to book a reservation and you move your mouse slightly to the side, you accidentally click a link that starts you on a process to buy your own franchise. Because they are so desperate to stay in business, they will ask you,
sell Tony a franchise.
You know somebody who has $20 million? $20
million?
No. I'm going to go to the website right now.
Let's crowdfund it. We need to crowdfund our
Tony's
own
getting
restaurant.
A melting pot. We're going to see how fast we can get a franchise and drive it into the ground or make it profitable.
What's a melting pot though? Like I've never.
Boy. Okay, Tony, you're getting your franchise information. So the melting pot is okay. Do you know what fondue is?
Yeah, like the little fountain thing, right? And then
hold on. Good.
So I'm going to do my best to explain fondue. That's something I've never had to explain.
Fondue is a type of cheese, isn't it?
Oh, no. I believe fondue is like the type of cooking, right? So you have multiple options. You've got your dessert fondue, and then you're like dinner fondue, I guess. So you get a bowl. And in the bowl, if you're going for the dinner fondue, let's just go for dessert. That's what most of my fondue experience is eating fondue dessert. So you get this bowl. bowl, right? With a little Bunsen burner underneath it, keeping it warm.
Okay.
And in the bowl is chocolate. And then, so you've got this melted chocolate in a dish, right? And then you've got all the people usually sitting around, and you've got little skewers.
Yeah.
With little colored ends, and
And
you
you
got
just
strawberries, marshmallows, angel food cake, and then you dip it in there. Well, there's also the other side of when you can like make savory foods like meats, and they would have like boiling water for your main course, and you could like boil or oil, and you could like cook your food that way.
Okay.
And then you'd eat your steak, and then you could follow it up with a rounded dessert. So somebody's decided to come up with a restaurant concept where they brought this stuff out to you, and you would go. And that's a melting pot. Yeah, that's a melting pot restaurant to which Tony is going to purchase a franchise for the low price of
20 mil and then run it into the ground.
You could very easily get onto a page where it's asks for your name and information, and it says,
call you.
do you have $500,000? That's all that you need. The next question is, the next question is, if you don't have the initial cash investment, do you know somebody who does have $500,000?
Oh, that's hilarious.
They're just going, please buy one. Please own a melting pot. We really want you to.
We got lots to spare.
You're gonna sign the contract, and you're not gonna own the franchise. You're gonna own the entire entity of melting pot. So the next melting
for $500,000.
Never mind, you've got billions in debt. You know, all these properties.
Hey, you got $500,000. We can dupe you into being a CEO.
Wow.
And you can take the fall for this place going bankrupt.
Oh, Tony, what made you come at Melting Pot out of nowhere? They seem to have wronged you in the recent past.
On just another podcast. Another podcast has gone through this because the next question is, why are you interested? Where this other guy went, my friend said it would be a good idea. And they got a call.
Oh my God.
He said, no, I don't have $500,000. No, I don't know anybody that does. And my friend thought it would be a good idea. And somebody still called them.
It's like Milt down in sales. He's calling you back.
I want to be the first guy to open a melting pot and turn a profit on it. Like, is that doable?
Unless you got a time machine.
Not sure that it's been done. So good to have a goal.
There was a period though where that was a date place. That's where you would,
it still is, but again, I think it's one of those places where you just go, okay, we did that. That was a waste of an exorbitant amount of money for a meal that we had to work
cook
for
ourselves. Yeah. That's it's a niche thing. I mean, clearly, if I forgot those things were even around.
I don't know. I feel like if melting pot was a thing, but it wasn't called melting pot, and you throw in some Korean or Japanese lettering, I feel like that place would get so much success.
The melting walk. How about that?
Yeah.
Here's what I need you to do, Winston. There's one in Duluth.
Okay.
There's a melting pot in Duluth. I need
suburban Atlanta melting pot.
We need podcast reconnaissance. I need you to take your girlfriend on a date to melting pot and report back.
That would be worth it, huh?
It is a fondue restaurant.
It's a good date spot, but I need you to go on a date and I need you to report back.
There's one in Midtown Atlanta, right next to the Fox Theater. It is a fondue restaurant. It's $3 signs, so bring your pocketbook.
Holy shit! I know where this melting pot is. Yo, that's hilarious. You know where
the other one is in Duluth too.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I know where it is. I just passed by the other. I've always seen it. No bullshit. Have always thought that place was a hot pot place.
A what?
A hot pot place.
Like Asian hot pot.
Oh,
Asian
gotcha.
That's why I was like, oh, what the hell is a melting pot? But that's funny. Like that is a prime location to have a melting pot if any other place. Like, I
need you to go and report back, please.
Okay.
Well, at a quick glance, not to alienate any of our audience that's not in the greater Atlanta area where they can visit a melting pot. Very good reviews. But one person said took a little longer than I thought. They were there for 4 hours.
What?
So I think that's part of it. Is it's an experience and it takes a minute. So the table turnover is probably not very high. But
what are they doing? It's not like they have customers.
Well, they are. They're sitting there cooking their own food.
Oh,
yeah. Depends on how much you order. The more you order, the longer it's going to freaking take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at this here, and it's like there's dumpling. Like you could deep fry your dumpling.
See, they've gone way beyond what I think I experienced in the probably early 90s.
Yeah, this
is
looks
when
like
I was in a melting
Korean
pot
beef
last.
that they got here. And then like bread.
It's been 15 years since I've been to one, and I said back then I went, I'll never go back to this.
All right. Well, for $500,000, you could be there every day. That's where you could eat
You
dinner
could have
there.
free fondue for $500,000.
I want to see you. I want to see you do a speed run of running a melting pot into the ground.
Boy,
See how quickly? I'm telling you, the ones in Atlanta look like they're doing well.
Yeah.
But Korean barbecue is not taking over this town, but there's a lot of great Korean barbecue in this town as well.
What do you mean? It's not taking over, or it is taking over?
Meaning it's already here.
Oh,
It's saying taking over the town. Makes it sound
No,
like
I thought
it's
you
new.
mean
No.
like, oh, it's not popular. I'm like,
No,
it's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there are a lot of places here that are good. I mean, there's this.
Have
no,
you
go
been
ahead.
to one? Have you been to one recently?
within the
There's-
past year, I have.
Okay. What about you, Brian? Have you?
There's a place called Taqueria that's I don't think it's kind of fusiony, so I don't think that
No.
counts as.
No, that's
It's
not
Korean
that's not a K barbecue place now.
Yeah.
It's called Taqueria with a Korea.
It's a Korean taco fusion.
spot. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
K barbecue.
Yeah. Come on, Brian.
K
No.
barbecue. If you've been, you would know. It feels very much like a melting pot where there's a communal grill burner in the center
Yeah.
of your table where you have to cook your own food.
Yeah.
Oh, so wait, we're talking like Benihana. No, that's where.
No,
the guy cooks
no.
it.
That's Benihana.
That's not
is
hibachi.
hibachi. Yeah. This is like there's a grill right in the middle, just like a melting pot would. Right.
Wait, so you guys you have to cook your own food?
Yes. That was,
You
that
can
was the
have
whole
a
You're
story.
just bagging on melting pot about?
That's why I
Yes.
don't like K barbecue either.
Oh, I thought you were.
There's many restaurants like this that I would just
Okay.
go away.
Okay, that's why you asked me. Okay, I didn't realize that. So no, I've not been to a Korean barbecue restaurant then, because I didn't realize you had to cook
And
your
it's
own
like
food.
$45 a plate for
Yeah.
all you can eat.
It's
But
Well,
crazy.
you can cook.
You gotta again. I told Winston. I said I could have saved $45 and cooked at home.
Could have gone to the store, bought
they-
meat, come home and fry
Well,
it.
that's it. That's basically you're paying them to prep your food. They're your sous chef. They're
it's
they're
not
prepping
prep.
everything.
It's raw meat that they just put on a plate for you.
They sliced it
cut?
and marinated.
Yeah,
it.
that's what I mean. Sliced it. You get your So
I don't think they slice it themselves. Their manufacturer slice it and they just take it in and then serve it.
Somebody had to slice it. Is the point? You didn't.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I
Oh,
mean, I
man.
guess. But yeah, it's a dumb concept. And I'll tell you this is gonna make Tony laugh even more. It had gotten to the point where like Korean barbecue is also trying to become so self-service that they don't even have server anymore. You order your meat by going on your phone and scanning their QR code, order all your meat,
Oh.
click checkout, and get this. Nobody bring your meat anymore. They send a freaking train to you with all your meat plates on it. And you just like, oh, cool. You just
a
take the meat
train
out. Yeah.
as a choo-choo train, a toy train brings you
like
your meat.
Yes. They have like train track it's like a speeding train that comes out of the kitchen. It's like zoop out and you just grab your meat, you put it on. And this
There's
thing
nobody
is
driving the train. It's a
no. I went to the spot recently, like maybe last week. And it wasn't like, normally you just have one track. Like if you go to like a sushi place or something, you can order like the sushi roll and it would just shoot out from the kitchen.
Yep.
Right? This one doesn't. This one is an actual train track that is built around every table and it does a loop around the entire restaurant and then goes in the kitchen.
Well, that's fun. I like that.
Yeah,
But what if you're at the end of the line and it's your food is driving past everybody's chomping mouths till it gets to your plate?
Happened to me. I mean, the meat is covered. It's on the trailer hitch.
It's got a sneeze guard?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, the food is covered. You don't see it until like you take the top off and you pull your meat out. But
How do you just said take your top off and pull your meat out?
yeah, that's
Is
crazy.
I love when Winston says things and I can see as they come out of your mouth. You hear what you just said. Like
Realizing it too late. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
How do you
but-
know which is yours on the train car? Do you have like your own
Because
personal
it's
train
not
car?
it's not gonna stop at any other table.
Oh, it's only if it stops at your
It's
table.
Only your
Oh man,
table.
I am so clueless to this whole experience.
Yeah.
This
Your
sounds like
table
fun.
your table has a little crossbar that comes down.
Yeah.
And blinking lights.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh man, this sounds delightful. I had no idea.
It's real jolly.
But then it gets there, and then you're like, well, shoot, now I got to cook my dinner.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
like it's so crazy, man. Like we were we were eating all of this food, and man, they charge you a fee if you don't finish all the food. Mm-hmm. It's like you can order all this food, and if you don't finish, you can't take it home, and don't charge you a fee per plate that you don't finish. Yep. So the other day when we went,
that's weird.
When we went, we didn't finish it. So,
it's like you get in trouble for not finishing your plate.
So like every little kid that's trying to hide food ever, right? You start putting it in different places.
People walking out with a pocket full of meat.
So our option was we had ordered like some Coca-Cola to help put down all the food or whatever, and we didn't finish it. So we took the top off of our cup and just started throwing meat into the cup, and then pouring more Coke so that it fills up, and it's just closing the lid.
They don't make you finish your beverages? That's acceptable? You can leave beverages behind?
No, you can walk out with your beverage. So fine.
Gotcha. So you're like, oh my gosh, that's wow.
Yeah. So
I like, it's amazing. I had no idea this even existed. I've heard of K barbecue. Obviously, they're all over the place. I didn't know. So that's the sign of an actual K barbecue place is your food will be delivered by train.
But this is only the one spot. This is the one spot that I've gone to. All the other spots, they still have actual human server that comes and
but they still make you cook it.
Yeah.
Sort of, but a lot of places there are places where they'll cook it for you, but other places, most of the time, they're just gonna be like, it's so crowded, you're gonna have to take care of it yourself, type of thing.
Yeah, a server may help, but they're taking care of too many tables, and it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I feel like a clueless individual.
Yeah. But the Asian hot pot's the same.
Yeah,
it's a pot of boiling spiced oil that you order raw meat and cook your food yourself.
Yeah.
Very popular, very dumb in my opinion. Again, waste of money.
I kind of like it when it's one of those one where it's like the little, like it's kind of Kura. What do you call those kind of restaurant?
Kura is they refer to themselves as a revolving sushi restaurant. It's a conveyor belt sushi.
I'm aware of those.
Yeah. So there's a hot pot place that is also on conveyor belts, which I really dig. Yeah, like that's cool. Because they charge you like per plate that you eat. So it's like $1, $2 per plate for like a whole plate of noodles or a whole plate of meat or whatever. That's kind of cool in my opinion.
That's not bad.
You get charged if you leave leftovers.
But that was only at that one certain K barbecue place. Because I mean, realistically, they make enough coverage, to not have to worry about the fee. Like you're charging a person $30 per person to eat, and you're buying meat in bulk. So it's just like you're turning a profit regardless of whether or not you're charging a fee for not finishing food. But I think that certain place was just real stingy and just
man.
Extra.
And see, this is the business acumen that is gonna turn a profit at Winston's melting pot.
There you go, man. There you go. Take the lessons you've learned about the shrewd K barbecue places.
I'm telling you, my melting pot will have a little train that deliver fondue to everybody.
See, that sounds like fun.
Exactly. And if it's somebody's birthday, we'll get a line dance going or something.
Now it's Joe's Crab Shack.
Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna wrap us up here. Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the first episode of the new year. Tell a friend, rate and subscribe wherever you're listening so you don't miss new episodes. If you want us to talk about something, send us an email. We got an email, podcastxyz@gmail.com. You can also check us out on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're in all those places at podcastxyz. We've got merch. Wear a shirt, sweatshirt, a mug.
You can wear a mug.
You can wear
a mug.
But you can find all of that information at our home on the web, podcastxyz.podbean.com. We will see everybody back in 2 weeks.
See you later.
See ya.